Hi, everybody. Hey, it's Ivan Tuttle again, the author of the book, A Journey to Hell, Heaven, and Back. That's my book. It's been a #1 bestseller, and it stays usually in the top 100 on the near-death experience category. It's been #1 in that category before. I've decided what I'm doing. Most of you know this because you've been watching it. I'm starting on chapter 7 tonight, doing 7 and 8. Hopefully I can get both of them done tonight. And I do this because people want to know more about my book. And people have said, hey, listen, I don't have time to read it all the time. Can you do something like this? You can get it on audiobook. You can go any place books are sold and you can find this book. Okay? Any place. If you find a place where you sell books, you'll find my book. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, whatever. All kinds of different Christian places, anything you want to go to. Or you can just go to my website, ivantuttle.com. Real simple. IVANTUTTLE.com. You can order a book there, and you can find out more about my ministry as well. So I died. I was dead for approximately 3 hours. I went to hell, I went to heaven, and I'm back. So chapter 7, A Journey to Hell, Heaven, and Back. It's titled Angels, Music, and More. In heaven, I learned that there are many different types of angels. One type of angel is much like, well, you and me. And they're about the same size as our spirits, and they look like us. These angels are given unique assignments to specific people, and they can be assigned to more than one person at a time. Now, I call them helper angels. And they're there to help you through different things in your life here on earth. They can transform into looking, well, just like you if need be. There are also guardian angels. They are usually assigned to just one person at a time. And they are there to physically guard you from harm. Now, you've heard people tell stories about how they were heading into an accident that couldn't be avoided, and the next thing they knew, they were outside of the accident and unharmed. That is because of these guardian angels. Sometimes, though, these angels cannot perform their assignment because the person that they're watching over has done something to where the angel can't do their job anymore. And I will try to explain more on this later. There are also angels with feathers, or winged angels. They are usually sent with a particular message to bring to a person or a group of people. For example, winged angels were the ones who announced Jesus' birth. And they are the ones mentioned many times in the Bible who give someone a message from God. I'm sure most of you have heard about angels that show up at places and different churches around the world. That is usually this type of angel. There are also other very important angels that don't have wings, that can also bring messages to people. It's just that most messengers are winged angels. There are angels whose only assignment is to take answers to prayers back to you. When you pray for something, pardon me, these angels will be the ones to give you the answers directly from heaven. Some of these angels have been seen, but mostly they are unseen as they carry the message or answer to your prayer. They are very common and are ascending and descending all the time, 24 hours a day around the clock. These angels can't make you accept the answer they bring back. That is determined by your will and choice. Now, archangels. Archangels are the biggest and most powerful angels. They usually have one assignment at a time, and that assignment usually changes life as we know it here on earth. When you come into the presence of an archangel, you can feel its power. You know they represent God firsthand. The power they possess can actually change the course of time and events here on earth. If you saw an archangel here on earth, it would scare you to death. But in heaven, your spirit understands this power. and its power comes from God, not to be feared in heaven. There were very few archangels, that I saw while I was up there. Only 3 of them were visible to me. I also saw angels whose only purpose is to worship God. They just sing praises to God, and their voices are, well, angelic. There's no other way to explain it. Their voices combined together would make anyone hearing it feel euphoric. I saw many more angels there. I didn't know their specific purpose, only understood a few I just described. There are just so many things that can be understood in the spirit that can never be put into words through the process of one's own mind, because the human brain simply can't comprehend it. Now, the music in heaven, it's not like what we heard in the churches back when I was growing up, or even in the new contemporary music back in the 70s. It was more like chants and praises. I can tell you that songs like Holy, that Jesus Culture sings, and some music from Elevation and other groups now, is more like what you hear in heaven. The kind of music is all praise music. Don't get mad, it's not like the Old Rugged Cross or hymns. Everything is happy and praise style sounds. Think about it. You are in heaven. God and Jesus are there. And you have everything you could ever want or need. So why not praise? Since I've been back on earth, nothing moves me more than music now, because I know the source of praise. And I'm constantly seeking that beautiful sound I heard while I was in heaven. Here on earth, we get tired of things in a short time. But in heaven, the people there are so full of the Spirit of God, because they are completely spirit and have no fleshly mind to tire them out or bring them down, that it's 24/7 praise and worship. I tried a lot of different drugs back in the 70s, and there wasn't anything that could give you 1/1,000,000th of a percent as high as you get what it's like in heaven. Without your flesh to hold you back or to bring thoughts of sinful things into your mind, there's nothing but praise and worship left inside of you. Yeah, your spirit wells up and you just start singing and praising God. Some music made me want to jump up and shout, while other times it was simply soothing and melodious to the spirit. I heard music that was so soft and gentle that it would just float through my spirit, as if it were a gentle breeze caressing me the whole time. No one in heaven sings off key. Everyone has perfect pitch. Our voices go up as one when we sing there. Though we all sing different parts, like bass and tenor, alto and soprano, it all blends together as one voice. And something I was excited about is that we do actually get to sing with the angels. The feeling you have when you were in heaven is something that you don't ever want to have go away. You never want to leave heaven. I'm bringing this up again because I feel it's important to know that feelings are a part of our spirit, not just our physical bodies. How many times have you heard people say, you just can't go on feelings? In heaven, that's not true. You can go just on feelings, because your spirit doesn't have any fleshly mind like it does here on earth. Your spirit hears, it thinks, it tastes, it feels, it smells throughout your whole being. So feelings are hard to ignore once you have experienced dying and being in the spirit. Feelings in heaven are the norm. Here on earth, they tell you not to trust your feelings because your flesh has sin in it. You have to understand that what we have here on earth that you can see or figure out with our minds are only the things of the flesh. But the spiritual world is more alive even hear than you can see. Spirits in this world are not all from God. There are many false spirits and many very evil spirits. Most of the time, you can tell when someone has the Spirit of God in them, and you can tell when someone is evil. But when you die and experience it firsthand, you have a much greater awareness and knowledge of spiritual things when you come back to earth. It's kind of like the difference between someone who's never cooked a day in their life and a professional chef. Now, the chef is experienced and he knows how to prepare, season, and cook the food, but the person who has never cooked might not know those foods, might not know what those foods are, and they may have tasted them before, but they have no idea how to fix them. What I'm getting at is this. Once you've experienced something, you have a greater knowledge than someone who hasn't. An astronaut can tell you what it's like, to experience being in space. But all we can do is imagine it or look at footage on film or on video until we go there. We really can't experience it. Sure, we can go someplace and have a simulated space experience, but that's not the same thing. And I've met a couple other people who have died before and experienced heaven, and they understand immediately what I mean when I say our earthly minds can't understand, comprehend, or conceive what our spirit knows. Therefore, trust the Spirit of God inside of you and don't worry about it. God knows what he is doing. That was the end of chapter 7. Now we're going to go to chapter 8. A lot of people find this very interesting. What was heaven like? Well, I'm fixing to read it to you. This is going to be difficult because nothing we have on earth can compare. In heaven, there is no darkness and no shadows of any kind. Now, imagine light being everywhere. You walk under a tree and it's just as light as standing out in the direct sunlight. You look up through the leaves of the tree and there's no shadows between the leaves and the light engulfs everything. Because of this, colors look so different in heaven, more vibrant and pure. Nothing on earth can compare to the light or colors in heaven. And our earthly minds we just cannot explain or comprehend what it looks like, no matter what we try to do. Some people say the streets are gold, but the reality is it's difficult to say what they're made of because everything there is so shiny and bright. The buildings there appear to be made of some kind of white marble. It's just beautiful. Inside the houses or mansions, the light is just as bright on the inside as it is on the outside. As I walked around in heaven, I was looking everywhere, including down at my feet. And the streets I walked on just glowed like a high gloss gold, but it didn't feel like gold. You see, it was actually soft. I won't even begin to tell you what the grass or the flowers look like. My brain cannot find the words to describe them, but I can tell you that I walked on the grass. I walked on the grass barefoot, and it was a rush. The grass was so soft, like walking on a cloud in our minds. You can float in heaven. All you do is pick up your feet and think about floating, and you do. It's effortless. You could soar as high as any eagle or airplane here on earth, but in heaven, it's no big deal. It's just like walking. Every movement you make is effortless. You never get tired, and you can always be on the move. Oh, how I wish that was true on earth. When you look toward what seems to be the center of heaven, you see this light that surpasses anything you've ever seen. This light has warmth, like the feeling of honey flowing all over you. And you're without sickness. And You can see forever and hear things that you could never hear on earth. Can you imagine a place where no fear exists? No sickness? No sorrow? No sadness? Not any form of depression of any kind? Everyone was happy all the time. In heaven, you instantly know things like who someone is without anyone saying a thing to you. You see, I saw some of the people from the Bible moving around. I know I saw Elisha, John the Baptist, Matthew, and Luke. I did not speak to any of them. I just saw them going about in heaven. You see, I wasn't supposed to be there yet, or at least I wasn't allowed to stay there. The angels stayed with me wherever I went, and I didn't go too far from the gate. I saw many other people too, but we did not talk. It was so great not to have to talk to someone and ask them their name. I just knew it, even if they walked by me. One name sticks out, and I don't know why. She was not anyone from the Bible or anyone I knew about before. Her name was Esther Remington. I hope someone reading this or hearing this will know something about her or why it was so important to remember her name. She died when she was old, but she looks so young now. She was a very loving woman on earth. I believe Esther was from California, had died a few years before I arrived in heaven, maybe in the late 60s or 70s. Once you've actually been to heaven, you have a different outlook on earth than anyone else. You see things differently, and you understand things that others can't. Your passion for life and people is magnified when you come back and you have an understanding and a compassion you've never had before. You know how important it is to talk to people and win souls for the Lord. Because after you die, it's too late. I was given several gifts in heaven, but the most awesome gift that any of us can ever have, and the only gift that you can take with you to heaven, is love. That's chapters 7 and 8. And I'll be doing chapters 9 and 10, which chapter 9 is deeper experiences in heaven. And I got to go to the front here because when I wrote the book, they figured out what the chapters were when they redid it. So I got to flip through it here real quick because it won't let me do it on my laptop. So chapter 9, deeper experiences in heaven. And chapter 10 is back to earth, which is kind of fun. So hope you guys will join me again next week. And again, hey, my name's Ivan Tuttle. I wrote the book, A Journey to Hell, Heaven and Back. Go to ivantuttle.com and get yourself a copy of the book. And while you're there, you can look at supporting the ministry, because I do a lot of things for free and try to help people and do things. And I'm getting ready to establish and do some new things. All right, God bless. Talk to you later. See you next week. Bye.